Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good evening and a welcome to everybody who is assembled here in this particular platform and in YouTube and Facebook or elsewhere, wherever it's being broadcasted. Thank you very much for joining in here today on this very auspicious day in the month of Kartik. We also have a very special devotee group from Baltimore, USA, who have also joined in here, and there is Pradyumna Prabhu, who is saying Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Pradyumna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj.
Yes, to satisfy his request for a long time, he has been waiting in the queue. So, Hari Bol,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, could we take a couple of minutes to introduce you, Maharaj, if it's okay for you?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. We're very fortunate today on the auspicious occasion of Bhaulashtami to have His Holiness Bhakti vinoda Swami Maharaj. He's a senior full-time monk in the renounced order of Sannyas in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And he's a chemical engineering graduate in the National Institute of Technology at Trichy, South India, with a very soaring and colorful past. He won so many awards for his being an outstanding student. And he was very in the cultural activities like drama, debate, and as a best singer, rhythm guitarist at a national level. And right at the start of a lucrative career back in the 80s, inspired by the teachings of Eastern Vaishnava philosophy, he summarily disengaged himself from worldly life to become a motivational monk, spreading the wisdom of the ancient Vedas worldwide. His focus is currently on bringing this wealth of Eastern knowledge, especially to the future of the world, our youth. So Maharaj had so many projects in spreading this Vedic knowledge to the youth and everywhere in the world. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for joining us and giving your association to all of us. Thank you so much.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Again, thank you for connecting in here today and being present on this holy month of Kartik together to hear something about Krishna, to hear some pastimes of Krishna and his devotees. This is a combination of two things that's happening here. One is the Gita wisdom program that happens here normally, and we have metamorphosed that into the Kartik month. The Gita wisdom in Kartik month should definitely hug and embrace the wonderful leelas that Krishna did during this month in Vrindavana. And today, tomorrow and today, the amazing days in Vrindavana. Of course, we are all tied up. Our legs are tied, hands are tied, our bodies are tied up, and we are locked down in many different degrees, all of us in different places. Some right from mental lockdowns to physical lockdowns to intellectual lockdowns to spiritual lockdowns. Some are spiritually locked down in Vrindavana. I see that, and that's a good thing to do. So we are limited from actually utilizing, our physical faculties to reach Vrindavana, which is normally what everybody does in this month, and then simply remains chanting Hare Krishna, completely free from all other activities, totally absorbed in hearing all the Krishna Katha, chanting Hare Krishna, walking to some of the temples, seeing the Lord dressed beautifully, doing nothing else but this. But as you know, situations are like this, and we are in different places. But it is amazing that we can still think of Krishna. We can still be mentally doing a yatra right up to Vrindavana and be able to take part by our own, by the strength of our own meditation, along with the other devotees in Krishna consciousness. So today is such a day where I request all of you to deeply meditate on Krishna and utilizing the Gita wisdom, utilizing the wisdom of the Bhagavat, utilizing the wisdom of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada that he has given us, who would try to very briefly indulge in this particular glories of this particular day. Iti drikshva lila bhire ananda kunde swaghosham nimajanta akhyapayantam tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktirjitatvam punaprematahastam satapritivam. In the beautiful Damodara Ashtakam that is sung every evening and lamps are lit to Lord Damodara, it is mentioned, Itidrik Swalilabhir, Swalilabhir Ananda Kunde. The Lord Krishna, in his beautiful form as a cowherd boy, very nicely performed these pastimes, Swalilabhir, and he created a wonderful lake of ecstasy and ananda, Ananda Kunde, Swaghosham Nimajantam Akhyapayantam. And everybody could dip himself fully wet in that Ananda Kunda, hearing these beautiful pastimes. So wonderful verses in this Damodara Ashtakam. So we will also try to see if we can dip ourselves in this Ananda Kunda, lake of bliss, by recollecting today an amazing pastime which brought about the birth of one of the most, or rather one of the highest pilgrimage places in the entire universe, in the entire existence, Radha Kunda and Shama Kund. These places are supposed to be the topmost pilgrimage sites anywhere. And for those students who are actually in the Bhakti Shastri also and who have joined in here, this may be a very appropriate moment because we are studying those shlokas. And I'm going to read one shloka, glorifying Radha Kunda by Rupa Goswami before relating the pastime from the Nectar of Instruction, Upadesha Mritam of Rupa Goswami. And we are very closely reading there, so close to that, so it's very relevant. It's from the text 9 of Upadesha Amrita. Vaikunta janito vara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavat vrindaranyam udarapani ramana tatrapi govardhanah radha kundam ihapi gokulapate prema mrita plavanat kuryat asya virajato giritate sevam vivekinakah. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavana, because of Krishna's Rasalila pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavana is Govardhana Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kunda stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokula, Sri Krishna. Where, then, is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kunda, which is situated at the foot of the Govardhana hill? So, very beautiful verse. And I think some of you definitely would have gone to Vrindavana. Raise your hands, Hari Bol, if you have gone to Vrindavana and you have gone to Radha Kund, Shama Kund, Hari Hari Bol. Yes, you have. And you can imagine that beautiful place now. It's glorified here as to be the greatest of all pilgrimages, even greater than Vrindavan, greater than Govardhan, greater than everything else that you ever know. Why? Because it is filled with the ambrosial nectarian prema. So Radhakund is called liquid prema. You can go and dip yourself in that liquid prema and come out completely transformed. That's why everybody is going tonight, tomorrow night, whatever the celebrations according to the time and scale of your calendar. And they go and in midnight, Radhakund appeared. So the midnight, they go and take bath in the Radha Kund and they light lamps. They offer, these big squashes and gourds. They offer milk. They offer water. They offer lamps. They offer all sorts of things to Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and they take a dip in there. It's a very ecstatic feeling. I went 2 times, I remember. It's a very big crowd, such a heavy crowd trampling on everybody. But it was so ecstatic to be taking baths, shouting Radharani's name and Krishna's name, and everybody floating lamps, and such a beautiful sight, very beautiful sight. And it's out of the world, definitely. So why is it so important? What really happened here, that India is such a great place that people have such great, celebrations and festivals and many things happening, and people take part in it. And there is a deep history, there is a story, there is a reason and purpose behind all these things. So we're going to hear that because in this age, in Kali Yuga, gradually all these things are getting worn out. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first actually came and located Radha Kund, Shama Kund. We will get to that point. But what is exactly this place? So this is a place called Bahulavan. There is a place called Bahulavan where the history and story is that even if you go today in Krishna Kund, that place in the bank of that, you will see a big statue of a cow, a calf, and a tiger, and a Brahmana, and Krishna together. What a combination of a tiger and a calf and a cow and a Brahmana. So definitely it makes everybody, what is this? What a combination is this? Yeah. So the story is that there was a cow called Bahula in this area of Vrindavan. And Bahula was once feeding herself, biting off and crunching juicy grass on the beautiful plains of Vrindavan in this place. And then all of a sudden a tiger appeared, a ferocious tiger, and just got ready to pounce on this Bahula cow to be able to eat it off. Hungry tiger. And knowing this, immediately the cow pleaded, I have a young calf, and please allow me a little time to go to the calf, do my last feeding, and tell my master, the Brahmana, also that this is what has happened, and I will be happy to come back here and give myself to you. Please, please allow me to do that. So amazingly, this is Vrindavan. So the tiger said, okay, I can wait for you here. I won't do any more hunting. But I completely rely on you. Either I've got my food, you please come back here and, I can have my meal. So the cow said yes and went with its tinkling bells from its neck, feeling gloomy. And this is the end of it. It's okay, my lord. And then went back to the calf. and licked the calf, fed the calf, its milk from its udder, and then licked the calf like nothing and said, "This is the last time I'll be able to meet you." And then it also met the Brahmana, who is the owner of that cow, and told him this is what has happened. And the calf also heard when relating to the Brahmana that I have given my word to the tiger that I come back. So the Brahmana immediately said, "No, no, no, I can go instead of you. And this is, you have a calf, you have a, child to look after. You be here. Protecting of the cow is my duty, right? It's a dharmic thing. I will go and I will tell the cow, you reach me up." So the calf immediately said, "No, no, no, not you. You are our master. Why should you do that? I can go, mother. I should go. And you should, And then the cow started crying for this, such an emotional thing happening there. Because they're all residents of Vrindavana. And the mood there is so nice. So they said, all three of us will go and we will see whom the tiger wants, and accordingly we will satisfy, and we'll sort it out there. And so along with the cow went the Brahmana and the calf. And all of the three of them landed there. And the tiger was saying, "Wow, this is a greater meal than I thought. It's a feast." And then lo and behold, the cow said that this is what happened. I told my calf and this thing. I said, I have to keep up my word. And the tiger said, "Indeed, you are a wonderful cow. I've never heard of anybody who keeps his word like that, but somehow I believed it in this place and it's happening. It's true. You do keep up your word." Right? And the tiger started smacking his lips, getting ready to pounce. First on the cow, then on the calf. He was wondering whom I should eat first. Just when this type of a situation occurred, and lo and behold, in between, all four of them, the tiger, the calf, the cow, the Brahmana, came Krishna with his chakra shining. He appeared there. And amazing scene. Krishna told the cow, "You have been so true to your word. And it's my duty that all the cows in Vrindavan be protected. And they are all under my care. You should go. And so also should the calf." Right? And Krishna rose up and then he blessed the Brahmana. Right? And the tiger. And the whole scene became very satisfied with Krishna's appearance. And Krishna honored that particular situation by satisfying, of course, the tiger's hunger and everything. And he said, hereafter this place will be named after this wonderful cow who was true to keeping up his word and totally dependent on me. It will be named Bahulavan. One means forest, Bahulavan, named after Bahula. So this is the story of this place where Radha Kund, Sham Kund is situated. And this is an ancient story where the name Bahulavan came in. And this day is called Bahulashtami. The 8th day after Kartik month has started, right? And another thing happened here on this particular day. This happened in the daytime, in the night, towards the evening. Another pastime happened, very beautifully. What is that? So we have been hearing in Gita wisdom about the greatness of Krishna. How Krishna is aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajate mam buddha bhava samanvita. How he is saying he is the origin of everything, and everything material and spiritual comes out from him. Mattah paradaram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Everything rests on me. I am the foundation. I am the premise. I hold everything together like the thread of a necklace, all the beads, all the diamonds, all the pearls, everything I hold up together. Whatever fantastic things you see. Atava bahunaitena kim gyatena tava arjuna vrishtabhyahamidam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagate. Everything wonderful that you see here is but a spark of my splendor. This way, Krishna is explaining his greatness in the Bhagavad Gita. And we get to know who is God, how powerful he is, how energetic and full of all these energies he is, how he is the proprietor, the creator, the maintainer, and everything that you can think of, how he is the absolute truth, right? Janmadhyasya. So all these wonderful things about the Supreme Lord Krishna is described in the Bhagavad Gita and also in the Bhagavatam. But one thing that is emphasized in the Bhagavatam, especially in the 10th canto, especially in this pastimes described in the Dashama Skanda, is the fact that the Lord is a person. He's a personality. He's not just absolute truth, full stop. Another line needs to be written. Prabhupada writes, the absolute truth is a person, full stop. He is Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's a personality. And the personality has personal feelings, thinking, willing, feeling, relationship, everything. Just that everything is supreme about him. Everything is wonderful. And he performs pastimes, these leelas. In these pastimes, in these leelas, you can see his power and energy and greatness also embedded. At the same time, they're very simple and filled with simple exchange of feelings of love with the residents of his homeland, Vrindavana, Vraja. Right? So that makes the pastime a combination of his greatness, his energetic, wonderful energies, Antaranga and Bahiranga, plus the simplicity and the love of his devotees, especially in Vrindavan. All this combined together, the pastimes become amazingly beautiful. So these are qualities of Krishna. Sarva adbhuta chamatkara leela kallola varidhi atulya madhura prema mandita priya mandala trijaga manasakarshi murali kalakujita asamanordhva rupa shri vismapita charachara. You can never compare Krishna's pastimes to anybody or any other manifestation of the Lord. Krishna has got unique features as Krishna, as Shyamasundara in Vrindavana. He has got Sarva Adbhuta Chamatkara Leela Kallola Varidi. His Leelas are Chamatkara, brilliant, full of light. Adbhuta Chamatkara, wonderfully brilliant. Leela Kallola Varidihi. All these pastimes are so wonderful, filled. And another thing is this, Mandita Priya Mandalaha. He's always surrounded by all these loving, beautiful devotees who have completely sold themselves off to him. They know nothing but Krishna. And the chief among them is Radharani, who is, by her love for Krishna, 100% love for Krishna, has completely bought off Krishna, can fully control Krishna. That is the personal nature of the Lord and the personal nature of his devotees who are completely pure. So he's surrounded by these people who are, these devotees who are completely sold out to him. And because they're completely sold out to him, they have full control over him. This is the amazing aspect of the Supreme Absolute Truth as a person. He's a person and he can be controlled by love, pure love of his devotees. Bhaktya Vashyata, as Shukadeva Goswami describes in the Bhagavatam. So he comes under the control of the devotees, and that is his unique feature as a person. That supreme person who could lift the Govardhana hill with his little finger, that supreme personality, absolute truth, who is saying everything material and spiritual coming from me, he can become conquered by the love of his devotees and come under their control. Right? Then, Trijaga Manasa Karashi Murali Kalakujita, and his blowing of the flute, that is very unique to him. Only he can do it so nicely. Asamanordhva Rupashri, and his beauty, that beautiful form of his. Tribhanga, Shamam Tribhangam Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He can, can stun you with his beautiful form and his beauty. So in this way, Krishna has got these 4 unique qualities which nobody has. Even Narayana in the Vaikunthas doesn't have. Even Vishnu in his manifestation doesn't have. All the different avatars, they don't have it. But Krishna Shyam Sundara has it. Right? So this pastime of Krishna, we should understand in that way that he is dealing with is relating with his devotees. So you must be hearing about that Krishna also in this Vrindavan Leela killed many demons sent by Kamsa. Putana, Aghasura, Bakasura, all of them came to destroy Krishna. But all of them were nicely handled sportively, like a sport, like a play, like a game. Every day Krishna would kill one demon. And all the Gopas would whistle and say, hero, great, wow. And each time he would kill them in a different way. There are so many methods, all types of martial arts, all types of fighting that you would ever see anywhere was employed by Krishna. And originally, I think he's the origin of all types of arts and fighting, right? Mostly it was within his hands that he would do this. So there was this demon called Arishtashura, means bull. He came in the form of a bull and attacked the residents of Vrindavana. He was so huge. His mane and his horns and snorting through his nostrils, like fire. And he was kicking with his hooves. The ground in Vrindavan, it was shaking. He was raising his tail. And the tail was, almost in the clouds. It was so huge, pounding the holy earth in Vrindavan. He was pointing his horns at Krishna like this and snorting and getting ready to charge on Krishna. And Krishna also was waiting with this askance pose, with his 2 hands on his hips. He also tied up his dhoti and tied up his thing and got ready. And all of them were on the side watching this wonderful tournament, this wonderful event. Everybody was getting ready, all the Gopas, wow! And here comes Arishashura. He charged on Krishna. And Krishna actually caught hold of him by his horns, twirled him around and threw him. That small Krishna did it. Why? Because he is the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead, full of all the energies and strengths. So very easily he tapped his thighs and stood like that. And then Arishtasura got over his horns and then he threw him. And again Arishtasura fell unconscious. He got up and again charged. 2-3 times these things happened, and Krishna finally took hold of his horns and broke his horns and beat him with his legs, kicked him, and then stool, urine, saliva, everything came out from all the holes and he lay dead. And all the Gopas were jumping and dancing. So Krishna finished Arishtasura in his heroic way. He broke the horns and pounded him. Killed him. He lay dead. Then he went to Radharani and the gopis and said, okay, let's have some fun. But the gopis immediately said, no, don't come near us. Don't you dare even touch us. You have done Gohatya. Arey, that's an Asura. He's not a cow, he's not a bull. I mean, no. He came in the shape of a bull. You don't even touch us, you're full of sin, they said. Huh? What do you mean? So what should I do? I said, this is, nobody does this and you have done it. You've killed a cow, you killed a bull. So you have to purify yourself before you come anywhere near. And how do I do that? He asked. So the gopis all stood, headed by Radharani, very beautiful looking gopis. And Radharani's scintillating jewel in the center of it, the center locket. He said very nicely, say, you should take bath in all the holy rivers in the whole universe. Then only you can get purified from this sin. He said, oh, that's all? I can do that instantly. Obviously, he can do it instantly because he is the Supreme. So he just dug his heels forcefully. He put his heel and bang into the ground. And it became a big crater. And then he invited all the holy rivers. They were all personalities. Oh Ganga, oh Yamuna, Oh, Kaveri, oh that, oh this and that from this planet, Alakananda, everybody he called, and they all came bowing their arms and standing. And he said, fill up. They all poured inside. He's the Lord, he's the Supreme Lord. It doesn't have to travel to each land, do a Tirtha Yatra, and he has no time, he wants to enjoy with the gopis. No? So he used his powers and energy and said, come here, fill it up. And they all filled up the whole crater. He jumped inside and took a bath. And then he looked at the gopis and said, now you are the ones who are contaminated. Why? Because you took the side of that bull. You took the side of that asura and supported him and said this, I have taken my bath. All of you are contaminated. You should also take a bath. In this Kunda, come on, you also get down because it's filled with this holy rivers. They said, no, 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 no. That place has become dirty because of your sins washed into it. We won't take in that. And you are such a person, you keep killing all these people. You're full of these things. We don't want to take any chances. We will make our own Kunda. I agree with you that, okay, I cited the demons and we all like that again. We will make our own Kunda. And so Krishna said, how are you going to make your own Kunda? The Gopas also joined Krishna and watched. How are you going to make your own Kunda? They said, we can do that. And they broke their bangles. And with their bangles, they started digging. And the Gopas were laughing, smiling, when will you finish digging this year? Like that. But all the gopis got together along with Radharani and they dug and they dug and they dug a big place. Radharani personally dug that Kunda. And so Krishna said, you have done enough work already, right? You just take the waters from here and put inside. No, 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 we don't want your water, it's dirty. And they said, we will bring water separately from Manasi Ganga. Manasi Ganga is another place close to the Govardhan hill. You will see halfway. That's where they start parikrama from many places. That is when Krishna brought the Ganga down through his mind. For his father, he said, don't have to go to Ganga. Here only is Ganga, and he took his bath. So they brought water. So rows and rows of gopis stood together and they exchanged the pots, pot by pot. They were bringing all the way from Manasi Ganga, one after the other was coming and it was being filled. It'll take a very long time to fill. So Krishna and the Gopas were watching and they said to the holy rivers, they said, why don't you go and ask her? You ask her. If I ask, she is not agreeing. But if you ask separately, it's a good chance that she will. So why don't you ask? So all the holy places and rivers and went to Radharani and said, please allow us to do this service. Please don't sweat in the hot sun like this and do it. We can't keep watching you like this, suffering in the hot sun and this thing. Just allow us to do it. We are all the holy. This thing, come here. We are not coming from the Shama Kunda. We're not coming from the other Kunda of Sham Sundara. We are on our own, pure, fresh. Please allow us to do this service. So Radharani said, yes. And she was very pleased with all of them and their special requests without reference to Krishna. So it became filled. It became filled like that. And then an amazing thing happened. The bond between the two kundas, which are so close together, also broke. Shama Kund flowed into Radha Kund and Radha Kund flowed into Shama Kund. Both of them flowed into each other. And all the gopis, Radharani and Krishna, got together and performed amazing pastimes in Radha Kund. And that day Krishna declared, this Kunda is most dearest to me. It is as dear to me as Radharani. There is nothing more dear to me. Right? And he proclaimed that this is the holiest of holy places and the best of places. And Krishna and Radharani and the gopis always met there and performed wonderful leelas and pastimes. In this way, Radha Kund took birth on a midnight, and Radharani and Krishna and all of them had beautiful water pastimes, swimming there and having wonderful leelas. So there's a lot more described about Radha Kund. It's not just a lake. It's a huge palace. It's made with gems, diamonds, precious stones, gold, and the best of actually materials in the most costliest. And there are different sections of Radha Kund and the center place, and there are other gopis and sakhis and everybody who have their kundas around. And there's a whole big mandala around it. And there is Shamakund also. And in recent times, I mean, a few hundred years back, Raghunath Das Goswami took it upon himself to actually redo the whole Kunda. Before that, there was nobody knew where is this Kunda at all. It had completely disappeared. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his visit in 510, 511 or something like that to first visit to Vrindavana. At that time, he came to this place and he recognized this is Radha Kund Sham Kund. Because he asked people, where is Radha Kund Sham Kund? And they said, we don't know. This place is called Kali Khet and this is Gauri Khet, they said. This small place here looks very blackish. It's called Kali Khet. And this whitish place is called Gauri Khet. Is it? And then somebody else said, this is Aritagram. This place is Aritagram. So somehow it is named after Aristasura. It became called Aritagram, the village of Arita. Nobody knew the meaning of any of these things. They did not know Kali Khet and Gauri Khet meant what. Kali means black, Gauri means white. Right? So actually it was Radha Kund that is white and Shama Kund, which they are talking about, is black. Krishna is black, Radharani is this. Like that. So, but Lord Chaitanya was the same Swayam Bhagavan Krishna who had performed these pastimes in these places. So he immediately recognized these two ponds, shallow ponds, to be Radha Kund and was filled with emotion, thinking about the pastime and everything. Quickly he went and he took off and he took bath in those ponds with that little water. And everybody was wondering, hey, what is this person doing? They were all very surprised to see what it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And then he told them, this is the place where Krishna, manifested his mercy and manifested this pastime. This is the place where Radharani dug this kunda. And he related these things. And then from then on, slowly people started reviving the whole of Vrindavan, the Govardhana Hill, the Radha Kund, the Shama Kund, and all the Goswamis who are direct disciples of Krishna, Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, all of them. They all took part, especially Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami took part in unearthing the whole of Vrindavan. Actually, it's because of Lord Chaitanya and the Goswamis that today Vrindavan is seen by us. Otherwise, it would not even be seen. They did not know all these places. So Lord Chaitanya, Punarudharan, again revived, because he is Krishna himself, came and revived all these places in Vrindavan. And then later, Raghunath Das Goswami, he built boundaries and everything for this beautiful place, Radha Kund, Shama Kund. At that time, Radha Kund was very perfectly squarish. But Shama Kund was a little crooked, like this, like this, like that. It is mentioned that because Krishna has got a Tribhanga crooked form and he was playing around a lot with all these tricks of the gopis and everything, the shape was like that. But he said, I know, I'll straighten it. And he tried to straighten it using all these laborers and everybody. But there was a huge amount of trees, 5 of them there on the bank. And then in the night, they were going to cut the trees down and shape it up properly and give it a straight edge. And that night, in Raghunath Das Goswami's dream, the trees became the 5 Pandavas and told Raghunath Das Goswami, please don't cut us. We are here situated on Shamakund. We want to eternally be here and serve Shama Sundara and Radharani and all the gopis and watch his pastimes. Please do not remove. Let it be like this only. So today, if you go and see Shamakund, will not be straight edge. It's like a multifaceted polygon. Whereas Radhakund will be very paka straight edge square, you will see, very beautiful looking. So it is mentioned that, yes, it's supposed to be like that, and Lord wants it like that. and he is like a multifaceted, polygon, and Radharani is a perfect square. So I would have loved to show you pictures of this. Many of you can picture it yourself. But Radha Kund came into being, and Lord Chaitanya, he appeared and he revived it. And then came Raghunath Das Goswami. He built this around and made this perfect. And all the Goswamis and all the great people, all of them had their bhajan kutis and their samadhi places all around this Radha Kund Sham Kund. Even Janava Mata, Nityananda Prabhu's wife, she has a place. Janava Mata's particular gate and ghat is also there. If you go there, you will see all great personalities: Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. All of them have their places of meditation, and they were on the banks of the Radha Kund. Even today, many great devotees just live there, chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and get a little prasadam from whoever is offering, and they chant Krishna's name. They take their bath 2-3 times in Radha Kund every day. Then comes Prabhupada's phase, the third phase. First is Lord Chaitanya and the Goswamis, then the second generation of Jiva Goswami and his disciples, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, Srinivasacharya, and all that. And then after that, a big lull, and then revival by Bhakti vinoda Thakur, the great saint. And then his son Bhaktisiddhanta Sasi Thakur built all these mathas all over 64 Gaudiya Math branches he started. Then came Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who took this Vrindavan mood all over the world. He carried it with him. Everywhere he went, he carried the Vrindavan mood, the beautiful feeling of separation and the feeling of love of Krishna, prema, and at its highest zenith of all the gopis in Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and all these beautiful feelings of relationships with the absolute truth, Krishna. And he spread it everywhere. Then he brought his disciples to see Vrindavan from all over the world. And then sometimes there's a Leela where he says that he took them to Radha Kund and explained this beautiful Leela and pastime there. You can see even video of it. Prabhupada making his eyes big and speaking about this Leela to all this thing. And then he had them dip into the Radha Kund, Sham Kund. Unfortunately, some of those did not know, and they started splashing and swimming in this thing, and the local people started commenting, these people don't know, they're all foreigners, they don't know. And Prabhupada told them, you don't take bath if you don't know how to respect. And then since then, for some time, people say, no, we should not take bath in Radha Kund, we should only take the water and put on our head. And then some others also said that, no, if you know to dip yourself very, very respectfully and take a bath, then you should do that. And in this way, many devotees go there and very respectfully take a dip with their gamcha and with their towels and everything, and pay obeisances first, and take a dip. Before dipping, sprinkle the water on your head, and then get inside and take a bath, and then pay obeisances to Radha Kund and Sham Kund. And it's mentioned that the waters of the Radha Kund are actually liquid prema, love of Krishna. So anybody who takes a dip there will get love of the Lord by the mercy of Radharani. She's the topmost of devotees of Krishna. And if she recommends to Krishna, then Krishna's mercy prevails on any devotee. Tapta kanchana gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamamahi Hari Priye. Because Radharani is so dear to Krishna, and her blessings will actually get us close to Krishna. In Vrindavan, in this place, everybody prays to Radharani for a mercy, because without Radharani's mercy, one cannot get the mercy of Krishna. So therefore, everybody prays to Radharani here. And she is the queen of Vrindavana, Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Nandini. Is Vrindavaneshwari. She is the most important person in Vrindavan. Even Krishna assumes a subsidiary role and makes Radharani the queen of Vrindavan. And even the king of Vrindavan becomes subservient to the queen of Vrindavan. There are leelas and pastimes that illustrate this very beautifully. So these sweet pastimes, Madhurya Rasa, Madhurya Leela, full of sweetness. You see, that's the simplicity. You see, in the simple relationships that the devotees have with Krishna, especially in Vrindavan, is filled with simplicity, right? And there is great depth in that simplicity. The depth is very deep. So, Radha Kund and Vrindavan, these places are where the depth of love for Krishna is great depth. So Radha Kund's depth is filled with the depth of prema of Radharani and the devotees. In the material world, we have a lot of width, no depth at all. In the material world, everybody makes all sorts of progresses in material possessions. They have money, they have assets, they have name, they have fame, they have so many hits and likes on the social media, on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and they're known and very popular, and they flaunt their material assets, but they have absolutely no depth in understanding that they are spirit souls, that they are part and parcel of Krishna. Mama ivam sajiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. They don't have understanding that they are part and parcel of Krishna, that they are eternal and eternally related with Krishna in this love. And they have descended and degraded themselves to such a low level where they have a gross identification, a gross understanding of themselves as this body. And they suffer unlimited pangs and miseries and anxieties in this world because of having such a low-class identity about themselves. I am this body. I'm going to die. You know, anxiety, greatest of worries. Right? That is what I call width, no depth, no understanding of that. Even your spirit soul, no understanding. But cultured human beings at least have some understanding that I am spirit soul, I must worship Krishna. So they increase their depth through varnashrama to some extent. Right? And they know this and they pray to the Lord and they have some little material desires which also get accommodated like that. But then there are others who even reject that and go deeper into giving themselves fully to this understanding. So deeper and deeper and deeper. So the greatest depth is Radha Kund. Radha Kund means complete surrender to the Lord of Radharani. Totally available. And all their thoughts, all their meditations are 100%. Radharani is called Krishna Mahi. She's made out of thoughts of Krishna. Fully soaked in Krishna consciousness, right? So that is why it's ambrosial nectar that it is mentioned here, okay? So this is the greatness of this place called Radha Kund. It's the greatest of all pilgrimage centers in the world, but it is secretly known only to those who know the Vrindavan Mahima, who know the greatness of the devotees of Vrindavana, their simple love for Krishna. They know nothing else but Krishna. They know nobody else but Krishna. And for them, Krishna is everything. For Nanda Maharaj, for Yashoda Mai, for the elderly gopis, for the elderly gopas, for the elderly cowherd men, for the gopas, for all the gopis, for Radharani, Krishna is everything. Their life is Krishna. Right? So depth. So that's why it's the greatest of all places. Because when we go to Vrindavan, we can imbibe in us this deep love, prema, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who's such a wonderful person. And his personality, his uniqueness, his individuality, his beautiful form with the peacock feather, Bharhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandarpakoti kamaniya vishesha sobham govindhamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. With a peacock stuck on his head and a flute inside his hip, stuck inside. It looks so beautiful, so wonderful. He captivates everybody in Vrindavan. He manifests himself in this original, beautiful form for their sake and gives them great pleasure. Gives them great pleasure, right? So that is why this Radha Kund is so important. And all the Goswamis and all the great devotees who sat there and completely absorbed themselves in Radha and Krishna's pastimes have sung the glories of this place. So I will chant text 10 from Upadeshamrita here. Karmibhyah parito harehe priyataya vyaktim yayur jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramah premaika nishthastataha Thebhyastah Pashupala Pankaja Drishastabhyo Apisa Radhika Preshtavat Yam Tadiya Sarasi Tamna Shrayet Kahakhriti. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, that's the Gyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kunda lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis, who then will not reside at Radha Kunda and in his spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhava, render loving service to the divine couple Sri Radha Govinda, who performed their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kunda are the most fortunate people in the universe. So, that is the Mahima of Radha Kund. That is the greatness of this particular pilgrimage to Radha Kund. We have mentally taken a pilgrimage to that place. We have actually delved into the beautiful pastime of Krishna. And if we can lovingly pray to the Lord today and offer our respects and prayers to Radharani and Krishna, and offer a beautiful lamp today, ghee lamp or whatever you have, in memory and in remembrance of this beautiful pastime of Krishna, and request Krishna to shower his blessings, request Radharani to shower her blessings on us so that we may advance in our prema, love of Godhead. Then they are very kind, they are very merciful, and because if our hearts become soft with love of the Lord, then in great simplicity, we can also relate with the absolute truth, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is ever willing to respond with loving feelings to any devotee who extends his love to Krishna through devotional service. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, a great servant of Radharani, always told us, there's a quote of Prabhupada saying that there was a plan to send me to become a barrister, a lawyer, to London to study. And my father stopped that. His father, Gaur Mohan De, you will see that written in the Bhagavad Gita on the first page, to my father, Gaur Mohan De. Because Prabhupada was very grateful to his father, because his father introduced him to pure bhakti. So his father said, no, I don't want my son to become a worldly man, becoming a lawyer and making money. I want him to become a servant of Radharani. This was his desire. And then you'll see Prabhupada's interview sitting with the mridanga on his lap and the mic and the recording going on. My father wanted me to be like this. He never wanted me to be a worldly man. He wanted me to play the mridanga, sing kirtans of Krishna and Radharani, sing the holy name. And because of his desire, I am like this today. And Prabhupada was so happy. So he was Radharani's very dear servant. So by Prabhupada's mercy, the whole world is exposed to beautiful prema, right? So we are very grateful to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for introducing us to Krishna consciousness, introducing us to Krishna, to Radharani, and the beautiful Vrindavana and Radha Kund. So we are very grateful. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Tat Sat. The time is exactly 4 minutes to 8 o'clock here. We're supposed to go from 7 to 8. I don't know what it is, Pradyumna Prabhu, right there in Baltimore. I don't know what time it is. You are muted, so we can't hear you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. Very beautiful, nice class, and very give us more inspiration and do more seva for this Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. And it's a very, very nice class, Maharaj. We enjoy your class. And please, this way, I'm requesting you, please come again in Zoom and give us more devotional talk, and we can get more inspiration of.
I am actually planning to Zoom and take a flight and actually Zoom there physically, but you're asking me only.
Maharaj, we miss your kirtan. Okay. I'm telling you, you have to come Baltimore when you come next time in US, and our devotee community love your kirtan, Maharaj. Everybody said when Maharaj is coming for kirtan, I say yes, definitely.
Yes, I am now quarantined, super quarantined.
Yes,
no
I know.
Kirtan, no this, even darshan not allowed for me.
Right.
I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
So I'll be very happy to come there and also eat the prasadam.
Yes, Maharaj, definitely. Maharaj, one question. Yes, I remember on Radha Kund, we should not take a bath, or like Prabhupada ji said, just to respect, take the bath like a 3 dip and coming out, not like the other people used to swim. Then Prabhupada stopped that swimming, no swimming in Radha Kund.
Yes,
right.
You should not normally. You should be very respectful, because that is why we are describing the glories of what Radha Kund is.
Exactly.
Right. So you understand, it's not a swimming place. It's not a place to take your bath, rub soap and oil, and then dip yourself inside. You're not allowed to do that.
Exactly.
In fact, so you should very respectfully take a dip along with some other senior devotees. Normally one should go.
Right.
That's also recommended. It's not that you alone go. Yeah. So you go with some devotees together, chant the name of Krishna, remember his pastime, Krishna, pay obeisances to Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. They are personalities.
Yeah.
In fact, the culture in India is that all rivers, lakes, streams, all of them are personalities. Ganga Mai ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Kaveri Mai ki jai. They actually pay obeisances first, then only, put the water on the head, and then only put their feet.
Right.
They ask for, pardon and blessings, and then only very respectfully, because we respect them as personalities. So also Radha Kund, Shyam Kund are personalities, and their personalities made out of prema. How can you jump inside and have, your own swim, and your materialistic consciousness should not be there.
Right.
Therefore, it's not.
Yeah.
You should be in the right mood. Yeah.
And the Radha Kund appearance day time is 11:45 p.m. on. So we went in one Vraj Mandal Parikrama, and everybody took the bath. I remember.
Yes. Midnight almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. And thank you so much for a wonderful class, Maharaj.
Hari Bol, Sundarananda Das Ji, Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. Would you have a few minutes if I can ask if anybody has questions, Maharaj, to answer?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, if anyone has questions, please raise your hand on the button that is there in the participants window. So that way we can unmute you so you can ask your question. If you're not able to find the button, you can indicate in the chat. That's also fine. Yeah, Vrinda Mataji, Vivek Prabhu, could you unmute Vrinda Mataji, please?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for a nice talk. Hare Krishna.
Haribol?
Can you, yes. Can you hear? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear.
Maharaj, thank you for the class. Can you please give the names of some prayers which we can recite today for the appearance of Radha?
Oh, there are so many. There are so many.
Some of them.
You know, you can go into the net and you can see there are many. Because they are reciting Damodar Ashtakam prayers. If you're talking about Radha Kunda, I think Raghunath Das Goswami has also written Kunda Ashtakam prayers. I think several of them have written. I'm not a person who regularly reads all this super duper literature all the time, but there are lots of these prayers. You can very easily get them. If you write glories of Radha Kund in Google, I think there are prayers that you will be able to get. I am not an expert at out of my head telling you these, but I know this Kunda Ashtaka is there.
Okay.
Radha Kunda Ashtakam is also there. And there are several prayers. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also has mentioned these prayers.
Okay.
If you want, you can chant them. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there are so many, so I just wanted to know the best of the ones, like which we can.
All of them are very good. They're definitely best of the best
Yes,
because they're all glorifying Radha Kund.
yes.
It's the best of pilgrimage centers, it's Radharani and everything. So all of them are definitely going to help you to bring your mind closer to Krishna and His mercy. Yeah.
Also, Maharaj, I heard like the appearance day, actually, it's going to change the date now. It's going to be in Chaitra, something like that. I heard.
Why?
The Radha Kund appearance day. I just heard like in the lecture of His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, he just talked about that. So maybe from next year. So I just wanted to know the reason why this happens, like dates change and.
Really? I'm not very much informed on that. I'm not a great astrologer. Tithis and dates and why they change.
Okay, Maharaj.
There may be some technical reasons. There might be some technical reasons, maybe some, phases of the planets and something. I don't know really. I'm not informed on that very much.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you so much for your association, Maharaj. Please give your association.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for giving us this class today and reminding us on how to meditate. Maharaj, I have a fundamental question. So, as Vaidhi Sadhana Bhaktas practicing Sadhana Bhakti, how easy it is and practical for us to meditate on such elevated topics of Radha Kund, because Prabhupada he gives pretty strong purports in these verses that you described today, because he warns us indirectly that these are very if one is fortunate enough to get a chance to reside in Radha Kund, he says so what practical advice you can give for practicing devotees or a neophyte like me who can, is it okay to even read such pastimes, Prabhuji or Maharaj, or I get bewildered sometimes what to do?
Well, that's a very pertinent question. We should follow our Acharya, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He is not a person who sat down on Radha Kund, Sham Kund and spent his life. Rather, he carried Vrindavan and spread it all over the world. Our philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the holy name contains everything. Wherever you chant the holy name purely, without offenses, Krishna will manifest. And along with Krishna, all wonderful blessings will also manifest. So we should follow our Acharya. That's the simplest way to understand things. And Prabhupada gave us glories of Radha Kund, gave us great pastimes and everything, but he was moving, preaching, serving the Lord and bringing Krishna consciousness to as many people as possible. So, Hariname Ruchi Jivera Doya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur told us that you should learn to chant offenselessly and develop taste for the holy name. And Jivera Doya means having feelings for other living entities who are struggling without Harinama and giving it to them. These are the two main things Prabhupada asked us to do. He asked us to sincerely read his books, chant Hare Krishna. Definitely, he said, visit Vrindavan, visit Mayapur, visit Jagannath Puri, our main pilgrimage centers. Maybe in a year you could go there. But if you're in the USA, you may not be able to go. But nowadays, maybe many devotees still come every year and visit. Go to your place where you are and engage in preaching and chant nicely. This is our instruction. It's not that you should not go to it. But then Prabhupada said, if you're very old, in your older days, if you want to, you can settle down. You can settle down in one of these places because you're physically incapable and you want to spend your last days. It's okay. You can go to Vrindavan and settle down if you want. And if you didn't have that, facility to do that, it doesn't matter really. If you stay close to an ISKCON temple, an association of devotees, get together, chant Hare Krishna, and be with your situation, your family members, or wherever it is conducive to Krishna consciousness, it's perfectly all right. Because Vrindavan is a mood also. You can be where you are and you can deeply absorb yourself in the holy name. And you can create that particular mood also. But if you have the facility, if you want it and you can do that and you have a place in the finance, go ahead. Either way, the main principle is chanting of the holy name of the Lord deeply without any offenses. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramyakachit Upasana Vrajabadhuvargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Iti Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradharana Paraha. We are following Lord Chaitanya's order. Reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna will bring you into the same mood as the gopis, worshipping of Vrindavana, worshipping of Krishna, and all of that is contained within these things. So, Prabhupada has crafted the whole process for us. He has established the centers of ISKCON everywhere, and you can be in Vrindavan consciousness even there. Okay?
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for a detailed answer. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't see anybody else raising hand. Anybody else has any questions? No?
So, thank you very much. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radha Kund ki jai, Srimati Radharani ki jai, Shri Radha Govind ji ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Om.
His Holiness Bhakti vinoda Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Hari.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare